What's up, Bulldogs? All right, I've got a real interesting concept that I want to share with you today. Something I just kind of discovered about myself that you probably will relate to as well. It's something that I hadn't really thought about before, but it kind of just occurred to me today in the middle of a deadlift set that okay. So here's what I'll say for context, right? So there was a period of time where I was working out a ton, doing my runs and my lifts. And it was just taking up a lot of time, especially when I was training for my ultra marathons, right? And I kept thinking to myself, I was like, man, like business is really not, I just don't have the time to focus on business stuff. If I wasn't working out like this, I could put so much more time into business because I'm spending at least 2 hours a day working out, and then I'm tired, right? And so I could really get the business going better. But I don't want to quit working out. But then there came a time, I don't know, maybe like a year or so ago, where I started doing, just lifting once a week, and that's okay. It's like, doing the high intensity, but I stopped running, and I was like, okay, I can devote all this time to business stuff. And what ended up happening was I actually devoted less time to business, and I was less motivated, and I couldn't really get the motivation to really get going with that. And so it was kind of weird, right? Like I was like, okay, why is this? This doesn't seem right. And then I figured it out today, right? Because I'm in the gym today, right? Like I get up at 5:40 in the morning. It's basically, by the time I get to the gym, it's like 6 something. And then I usually have like an hour and a half workout, sometimes 2 hour workouts. Like it's 8:17 right now. And so, that takes up a lot of time in my morning, right? In the day. And but I'm kicking more ass in business than I ever have, right? Like I'm doing sales right now, and I've got a bunch of sales calls today. I did a couple closes yesterday, and it's just, I'm more motivated. I'm on top of everything, and I realized that here's the thing about this is that we think that we'll have more time by doing less, right? By not pushing ourselves as hard, but in reality we have less time. Right now, why is that? It's because, like, what I realized for me is that if I'm not working out, if I'm not busting ass and just like giving it my all physically, then I'm also not going to give it my all mentally. I'm not going to have the discipline and the motivation to actually succeed in business and do those hard things, right? Because it's almost like a self-esteem thing to a degree, right? It's like I feel good about myself when I'm working out, just busting ass. Like the workouts I'm doing now with my coach, he's awesome, but he's just kicking my ass, right? Like I'm doing insane level of workouts, even with my injury and everything, it's like just insane level of workouts that we're just ramping this shit up. And I feel this sense of satisfaction when I'm getting this shit done because it is so fucking hard, right? It's like every one of these workouts, it's like, fuck, do I have to do this today? This is miserable. Like the one I did yesterday, holy crap, is one of the hardest running workouts I've ever done in my life, honestly. Okay, just wiped me out completely. But afterwards, I feel like the fucking man. Then I jumped on some sales calls afterwards, and I fucking killed it. I absolutely fucking killed it, right? So the thing about this is that, and I get this actually from people that I'm talking to on sales calls, where like, oh, I don't have enough time. Right? And it's like, I'm trying to do these other things. And it's like, you'll have more time, you'll have more energy, because it's not about time management, it's more about energy management when you're actually using that energy, okay? When you're actually pushing yourself and accomplishing things. And so it's like, sometimes we're like, we don't want to stack this stuff on our plate because we've got too much on our plate. And there is some truth to that. I don't want to say that like you should do 15 different things at one time. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that, ironically, right? When you actually push yourself really hard, you commit to a workout routine or something that's really, really difficult, it actually gives you more motivation and gives you more energy, which equals more time or more effective use of time to actually do the other things in life. And so if it's like you're at this point right now where you got some shit that you should be doing, right? So it might be business. Now, if you're a software developer, hello, building your brand, okay? Because I know your bullshit excuses, all right? I hear them every day. Oh, I know, I don't have time, whatever, okay? But whatever it is that is your the thing that you know you should be doing, but you don't have time. The answer is to actually start working out. Okay, and the answer is to actually start doing the thing, is actually to commit to the thing, is to actually take on a lot. Because when you take on a lot and you drive through that, it gives you that motivation to continue. Because I kept on thinking, like I said, the error in my thinking was that, okay, I need to scale back so I'll have more time so I can focus on this thing. And even though theoretically that seems correct, right? It seems correct that, hey, if you want to build your business, if you want to make more money, increase your career, your output, you should avoid working out so much and wasting all that time and that energy so that you're not tired. So you can just devote all your energy to building the business, increasing the career, increasing the income, whatever it is. But the reality of the situation is that it's actually the opposite, is that if you want to start making more money, if you want to get that motivation to build your business, to grow your YouTube channel, whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? Write that book, whatever that is, then you've actually got to take on something challenging in your life that's physical, right? Go and do the workouts, go and do the thing that, and it doesn't, I don't know if it even has to be that, but it's like you have to pick up something that is going to require a lot of focus and is gonna be something that exhausts you. Okay, that actually gives you more back by doing that. And like I said, it seems like the opposite would be true, right? But as I look at my life, right, I'm standing there doing a deadlift, right, and I'm like, man, I haven't fucking done deadlifts forever, but my coach is like, okay, this is what we're doing, and and I'm like, okay, I'm proud of myself, I'm doing this. I started to realize, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Like right now, when I get out of this car, I'm gonna go upstairs, I'm gonna fucking get in my office, I'm gonna kick ass, right? I got sales calls, I'm gonna nail those sales calls, right? Like I wish I had more hours in the day so I could work more hours because I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? And so, so it's an interesting observation that I've made, that every time I've tried to get out of this, every time I've tried to, optimize and say if I had more time and I give myself the more time, I waste the time. But when I take that time and I use that time to push myself, to improve myself in some way, in some other discipline, then it multiplies the remaining time that I have. And I would guess the same would apply to you.